Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. I am here tonight live on Monday. It's December 11th, 2023, and I'm going over This Week in Astrology from December 11th all the way until December 17th. So welcome if you're just joining me live. Go ahead and comment below, like this post, give it a thumbs up. That's how the algorithm starts to get rolling. In case you don't know, I am live every Monday night on Facebook, my Astrology Updates by Gretchen Heidel page at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you ever want to join the live broadcast, or if you like to watch the replay on YouTube, and if you do, welcome. You are awesome. So go ahead and like below comment, what's your astrological sign, sun, moon, rising, and where are you tuning in from? I love to hear. We have a big week this week. There's two main events, and plus, some other honorable mentions. We have the new moon coming, and we also have Mercury Retrograde starting. So this is a very important program. You're not going to want to miss this. And make sure you stay till the end, because at the end, I always pick a collective card. What do we need to know? An angel card for the week. So welcome if you're joining. Hey, Wendy. Scorpio sun, Virgo moon, and rising sign. Welcome. And Kirsten, Capricorn in Vermont. Welcome. Yay, you guys are the first ones to comment. Love that, because then I know the broadcast is rolling. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, we have a lot of big energies, I would say. Last week, just to recap, we did have last Monday night when I was live, we had Venus moving into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So she's a fiery, feisty Venus sign. Venus is our love life. So that's still going on now, and that's operating behind the scenes. So whether you're aware of it or not, it's here. And also we had Neptune turned direct in the sign of Pisces, and that happened last Wednesday on December 6th. And so now Neptune is going in a forward direction. Hey, Holly, welcome. Yay, Libra, Leo moon. Melinda, Capricorn sun, love that, from Vermont. Welcome. Almir, Taurus from Vermont, Sagittarius, and Cancer placements. Love that too. Bunch of things that happened last week. Last weekend was actually kind of nice. Like this past weekend, December 9th and December 10th was actually astrologically pretty good. Now, obviously, everybody can be having something going on in their personal chart, which could make it contrary to that. But at least there was some overall benevolent, mild energies over the weekend. So I don't know if anybody experienced that. I had said that might be a good night for a date night last Saturday. Good for money and love, actually, was last weekend. That's a rare thing. I'm usually saying watch out for this and watch out for that, but not last weekend. Last weekend was definitely a much more mild and nice energies. So like and share, make sure that we get the algorithm rolling. And I'm just going to dive in today. Some of that continued on, some of that benevolence kind of continued on when on Monday during the day we had Mercury in Capricorn forming a sextile to Venus in Scorpio. I was just talking about that. Mercury and Venus is like very mild. It's a sextile. That's really lovely. Sextiles in astrology are considered to be kind of a mild transit, because it's like sort of like you get all green lights on the way to work, and you might not really notice that, but you might be like, wow, it's pretty easy today. It's easy to get around. I'm not having a lot of, stuff coming up, and it's just like flow, if you will. And so that's really nice. Those two, talking and communication and travel is Mercury, and then we get that love and money vibes from Venus. So those two could be very nice, playing well together on the same page on today, Monday. So I don't know if anybody experienced that, but we had a really nice transit today. And then now we are getting into less than 24 hours away from the new moon in Sagittarius. Hey, Rita from Vermont, from Colorado, welcome. Robin from Vermont, Gemini, welcome also. So we have the big new moon coming tomorrow, and that's going to be 12/12, okay, 12/12/23, and that's coming in the astrological sign of Sagittarius. It's 20 degrees Sagittarius. New moon means the sun and the moon are going to be in the same sign at the same point, and that's why it's called the dark moon also, because we can't see it in the sky because one blocks the other, and that's all good. So it's wonderful. It's a beautiful new moon time. It's wonderful for also manifesting, but some specific things that are related to Sagittarius. So obviously, if you are a Sagittarius, that is going to definitely, you're going to be feeling that. It's 20 degrees. The sun will be 20 degrees, moon will be 20 degrees. So you'll be feeling that in the heart of that if you are around that, if you have planets around 20 degrees Sag. But even if you don't know what planets degree they are and all that, how do you get along with Sagittarius? How do you feel during Sagittarius season? We are in Sagittarius season now. So how do you feel typically between, in America, it's like Thanksgiving to Christmas, roughly. How do you feel between that time? More specifically, between Thanksgiving and the winter solstice, if you know when that is. Hey, Sarah, welcome. Leo from Vermont. Yeah, so that's going to be happening, and that's going to be a really nice, new moon. It's a great time for manifesting, for saying intentions, prayers, positive affirmations, all those wonderful things. This is a Jupiter ruled new moon. Hey, that sounds good, right? Because Jupiter makes everything big. Jupiter expands things. Jupiter is in charge of making things big, and all that. So, and it is the party time of the year. I have always said, Sagittarians are definitely associated with partying. That is one of the signs that tends to like to party. Holly said, yes, I love this time of year, festive and fun. Yeah, exactly. That is Sagittarius season. So if you think of good luck, good fortune, optimism, expansion, that's Jupiter's job, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So that could be a very delightful new moon, and it depends, obviously. Do you have any fire in your chart? Do you have Aries or Leo in your chart? Couple Leo people have been commenting. You'll feel this because you're a fellow fire sign. Sagittarius is fire. If you are a Gemini, listen up, because this could be felt a little bit almost like a full moon for you, even though it's a new moon, because Sagittarius is opposing your astrological sign. So you might be feeling this, through that opposition. And, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's more intense. Full moons are a little bit more of an intense time. If you are a Virgo or a Pisces, you will definitely feel that too. So you'll be kind of getting all of that going on, that action. That could be a little bit, feeling it could be a little bit sort of challenging to Pisces and to Virgo. You'll be feeling it for sure, but it'll be squaring you. And so that'll be a little bit of a but it is still new moon. New moons are mostly calm and quiet and peaceful usually. There's going to be a couple of honorable mentions here that I will bring up because this particular full moon is going to be conjunct Mars in Sagittarius also. So that the peak of this, the new moon, is going to be at 6:32 p.m. Eastern time. So what is that? 3:32 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast, or plus or minus in between. Yay, Wendy, welcome. You just happened to realize it was Monday night. Well, there you go. Holly said, will Leo moon feel this? Yes, I just said Leos will definitely feel this, and you'll get a boost of energy with this because when I said Leo, I mean, I'm talking, listen up, everybody. If you're a sun, a moon, a rising sign, a Venus, a Mars, if you have any planets in these signs that I mentioned, and especially if there's more significant planets, you will feel these energies. So yeah, if your moon is in that, for sure, you will definitely feel that, and it'll be like a positive boost. So that would be a good thing. So like I said, the peak of it is going to be tomorrow, 12/12, and if you think of even the numerology of that, there's 12 and 12. There's that, and 12 in numerology reduces to 3 because 1 plus 2 is 3. That's how you do numerology. And 3 goes back to Jupiter. So this is going to be a very Jupiter day. No worries, Holly. Holly said she gets confused with the moon placements. Yeah. Especially if your moon, your sun, your rising, all these things, if any of these things, are in it, you'll feel it. It's a good question because a lot of people get confused about that. But I like to keep it simple. It's like if you have anything, all of the above, then definitely listen up and you'll be feeling that. And just if I don't mention your sign, if you're like, well, I'm maybe an Aquarius or maybe another sign, doesn't mean you're not going to feel it. I'm talking about these ones that are really going to be getting the boost from it. Yeah, if you're an air sign, you'll be feeling that and again, in a positive way. If you're an earth sign, maybe not as, I don't want to say positive, but maybe a little bit more of a challenge. This might even be a challenging time of year for you if you're an earth sign, but again, you need to know your specific astrological chart. So the peak of it is 12/12 at 6:32 p.m. Eastern time, earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. And then the moon is going to form a conjunction with Mars, and that's going to be at 5:05 a.m. So that's also happening. So the other additional player in this whole setup is Mars. Mars is going to be kind of plugging into that moon. And if you are awake overnight to between tonight and tomorrow, or even the next day, we could even see, if you look in the sky, the moon somewhat near Mars, although you can't see the moon because it's a dark moon. So you'll have to find Mars, which is a kind of a reddish sort of hue or a reddish color. And the moon is actually right there. It's just you can't see it because it's the dark moon. We might even see it though as the moon starts to get into like a really small crescent. You could maybe still find Mars sort of around it. So basically that is what we are dealing with now. Remember, it's positive affirmations and we're starting to harvest something into our lives. So remember, the new moon to the full moon is when we bring something in. The full moon to new moon is when we release something out the door. So we're going to be bringing things in, and this is the great time to manifest, to harvest. Specifically, Sagittarius is in charge of a lot of things, a lot of departments. So if you think about Sagittarius is the natural ruler of the 9th house. So this could be especially potent for all manifestations, but specifically travel, specifically scholastic aspirations. So like, let's say you always wanted to go back and get your master's degree or some kind of a thing, or take a continuing education course or whatever. It's good for marketing, advertising, and publishing. So if you work in any of those fields, this is a good time to put out something, especially when we're talking about publishing. That could be a good time for manifesting. And look, you don't have to publish it tomorrow, but what you have to do is create the intention tomorrow on your new moon manifestation list. So travel, marketing, advertising, and publishing, higher education and learning. Also, what was the other one? Like if you have any aspirations that are more getting back to like spirituality, getting back into your spiritual practices, this could also be good for that. And, if you think about Jupiter, again, is the ruler of this new moon, good luck and good fortune and optimism. Oh my, so anything you want to increase and bring more in, that would be a good thing too. So you want to write out your new moon manifestation list. You want to write all the things that you want on the list. I always write it as a thank you letter. Thank you, angels, for bringing abundance. And I always say it as if it's already happened. That's just the style of how I do my list. I always thank them, and then I state it as a positive. So thank you for my good health. Thank you for protecting my loved ones and family. Thank you for whatever it is you want to bring into your life. You want to write it out, and then you want to fold it up, put it under your pillow, sleep with it for 2 weeks, and then burn or destroy your new moon manifestation on the next full moon, which is going to be coming the day after Christmas if you celebrate. And that is going to be on December 26, 2023. It is the start of Kwanzaa. It is Boxing Day. And, and that is going to be the full moon in Cancer. So the sun will be in Capricorn and then the moon will be in Cancer at that time. That's when the sun and moon are opposite. Tomorrow is when the sun and the moon are the same. Now, if you think about this particular new moon, writing out new moon manifestations and all that, we have a little help from our friends, you know, and if you think about our friend, the archangel that's associated with Sagittarius is Raguel, the friend of God. Like that segue there, the friend of God. So remember, I had talked about Raguel a while ago in reference to he, she, they, them. It's really that kind of a situation with pronouns with the archangels. That's the archangel that's kind of the sheriff. Helps groups of people and social situations, people to get along. Jupiter, in fact, is very good at helping teams to like come together. Now, if we think about a place anywhere in the world that needs that, I think it's Israel and Palestine and Gaza and all that situation that we could pray for them to come together. Archangel Raguel. That archangel is also in charge of fairness and prosperity, helps to get rid of discrimination and harassment. So if you need that in your life, this is your particular archangel to sort of set intentions or help you to get, you know, some of the things that you would like. You can address this archangel, and you can start out with saying, "Thank you, Archangel Raguel, for restoring peace in my relationship with whoever." Let's say you have a coworker situation, or you have a relative, or you have some kind of a thing in your life where you need a little help. You can ask Archangel Raguel. So we can say, "Thank you, Archangel Raguel, for restoring peace in Israel, Gaza, Palestine, that whole area of the world, and help that to be so." And so whatever thing it is that you want to bring into your life and you want to have this archangel help you with, you can ask Archangel Raguel. Now, the color of Archangel Raguel is light blue. So you might want to think aquamarine or blue lace agate, or one of the stones that's associated with light blue. And blue also helps us with communication. Now, if you think of communicating, this is the throat chakra, you know, and kind of, you know, expressing ourselves and talking from the heart, you know, being able to speak from the heart. Wendy said, "Oh, wow, mass production time until May. That's really awesome. You have a goal of publishing your book." Ashley Ann said publishing her book. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people on here. Ashley Jean, hey, welcome. Virgo, Libra, Leo from Vermont. Okay. Yes, awesome. So basically we're going to be asking that particular. Now, remember that the birthstone for, if you are a Sagittarius, for November Sagittarians is turquoise, and December is blue topaz. So any of these blue stones, in other words, would be really nice. I love sodalite. I think I've mentioned this on my program. I am a lover of sodalite. By the way, in case you guys missed it, I am a affiliate for Opulenza Designs jewelry company, and today we have a sodalite bracelet, like one of these stretchy kind of bracelets, on sale. So if you want to check out my Opulenza Designs page on Facebook, it's on there, and I have the link in the description I'll put. But this is sodalite, and there's a stretchy bracelet sodalite, but that's good for Sagittarius. And if you think of sodalite is wonderful for the third eye chakra, okay, which helps us with vision. It helps us with intuition. Helps us with vision. So that can be very good. All of this is good activation for this particular new moon. So this is a really good new moon, I think, especially with having a Jupiter new moon. Now, we do have Mars in there, and Mars is the god of war, and Mars can be a little aggressive, and Mars is an increase of energy, and Mars is an increase of sexuality too, and we can't forget that. It's just passion, you know, if you think of Mars as passion, that is going to be active during this particular new moon. So it might be a little spicy, especially earlier in the morning when the moon aligns with Mars. Mars, again at 5:05 a.m. Eastern time, or overnight between tonight and tomorrow, if you're on the West Coast. This is that time. So this is a nice new moon. Now, I will say this, the next day on Wednesday is when we start Mercury retrograde. The last time we had Mercury retrograde, the new moon took place during Mercury retrograde. So I'm glad that it's taking place at least just one day before the start of it, so that we can start to have some wonderful new moon vibes before we get into the official retrograde start. But we got to remember, the Mercury's kind of just hanging out. Mercury's just sort of sitting around, not yet moving. It's called stationary retrograde because it's stationary right now. It's not doing anything. It's just sort of hanging out. I won't read that on camera, Wendy, but that is really funny. Yes, we could all use a little help sometimes in the sexual, passionate arena. And so that is definitely something I should mention too, before I move on to Mercury retrograde. Sagittarius is associated with, sort of the, hamstring area, the quadricep area, kind of like the upper thigh, sort of low hip area, is Sagittarius. So in the body, and the biggest and the organ that Sagittarius is associated with is the liver. Now, I just said that Sagittarius is known for being associated with partying. So we got to watch that. You know, Jupiter is excesses. And so if you think about anything that's excessive, like too much drinking, too much smoking, too much food, too much, whatever of too much, that is Sagittarians / Jupiter's sort of role. So we got to watch that as well. So we want to make sure that we, treat that area of our body nicely. Both our liver and our buttocks and our hips and our quadriceps and our hamstrings, that whole area, especially if you have problems with that. A lot of us sit now for a living, sit on the computer or Zoom or something. So it's about getting up and moving and doing all those types of things. And that is associated also with Sagittarius. So we want to treat that area of our body kindly. Okay, so as we get into the next day, we get into it was like good news, bad news, I guess, in a way. It's not terrible. Mercury retrograde's not terrible. Yay, Holly, thank you so much. You're my first star giver, 100 stars. I love ringing my space clearing bell. I love this space clearing bell. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much, Holly. That bell was for you. And yeah, so the next day on the 13th, December 13th, a lot of people like to write this down. Oh, yay, Wendy Martin. Thank you so much. Wow, I didn't even try to do that. It just happened. A lot of energy, 100 stars. Thank you so much. You and Holly both. So the next day, Mercury retrograde, December 13th, and the peak or the height of it is at 2:09 a.m. Eastern time. So if you think about it, it's really happening either overnight between Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you're out on the West Coast, that's happening right before, midnight. What is that? 11:09 p.m. on the West Coast, and then 2:09 a.m. on the East Coast, between overnight Tuesday and Wednesday. So like I said, we just missed that new moon, just missed Mercury retrograde just by a sliver. Oh, thank you. Oh, we're having a star party, everybody said. That's another one. 100 stars. Thank you so much, Andrea. Welcome, welcome, Aries in Vermont. So Mercury retrograde is going to be in Capricorn. I kind of prefaced this a few weeks ago, but we're going to go through the Mercury retrograde thing in Capricorn. Oh, Mercury retrograde. By the way, I do have a fun thing. The Geminid, I think that's how you say it, Geminid meteor shower is going to start on, the peak of it, I should say, is between the 13th and the 14th of this month. And that could be a very good one, because whenever there's a meteor shower at the same time as a new moon, you can see it way more clearly than if if the moon was full, because the moon's full, it's too bright, you can't see all of the meteors, shooting stars. Okay, so if you really like watching, you're a sky watcher and you like to watch stars and you want to catch a shooting star, that would be the time to do it. Like I said, the peak of it is going to be between the 13th and 14th, but we could probably see some on the night of the 12th and maybe even tonight too. It just won't be as busy, but we'll see some. So if you are a sky watcher, that's a heads up. Ha ha ha, literally. Monica, hey Monica. Leo, welcome, welcome. Andrea said, I blame Mercury retrograde for showing up late. Yes, exactly. So Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. Mercury retrograde is going to be in Capricorn for a long time. Usually Mercury is in each sign for 2 weeks. This is going to be going on for a while. All right. So in total, Mercury is going to be entered Capricorn from December 1st, 2023, and is going to be going all the way until December 5th of 2024, except Mercury for a brief time will dip back into Sagittarius for like a couple of minutes there. More than minutes, but you know what I mean. Okay, so Mercury will be in Sagittarius. And again, I know a lot of you guys like to write these things down, so I'm just giving you the heads up. It's 12/23 to 1/3/2024. Okay, or 1/13, I'm sorry, 2024. So 12/23 and 1/13, Mercury will be in Sagittarius for that brief time. Because remember, retrograde means to travel backwards. Now, does it literally travel backwards? No, that's an optical illusion. The ancients kind of said, hey, wait a minute, it looks like this planet just went backwards because they had telescopes and they didn't really realize what the deal was with the orbits and all that. It's an optical illusion. It does look like it's going backwards in the sky, but in fact, planets don't literally go backwards. But retrograde means a throwback, okay? And just if you want to talk astrologies to your friends and you want to sound, you don't say Mercury is in retrograde, because retrograde means travel backwards. So it's like saying it's in travel backwards. That doesn't even language-wise make sense. But there are people out there that say, they love to say in retrograde. And I'm like, nope, it's not in, it is retrograde. Okay, so it's going backwards. And so it's going to be starting out in Capricorn. We're going to be, doing this whole thing. Now, Capricorn is rules, regulations. It is the 10th house in our astrological chart, which is career. Okay. It's our ambition, our motivation. Capricorn is very much about achievement and about goals and about dreams and aspirations. Now, we have just 2 minutes, we have 2 minutes before, and then we have a new moon before this starts to really think about what is your New Year's resolution, what is your New Year's goal, because we're gonna be having New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in with Mercury in Sagittarius, but it will be retrograde. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. Okay, that as we set our New Year's intentions. Now, some people don't like to set intentions, and I totally get that too, and I honor that. But for those of you out there who do like to set your intentions and like to have goals and all that, it would be a good time now to sort of think of that, because when we're in retrograde, if you think RE, retrograde, it's all about revise, revisit, reprogram, reconnect, reorganize, all the re's, the REs. Okay, so we want to make sure that because we don't want to set a goal and then have to revise it. It's not a terrible thing to revise a goal. But if you're really trying to do something big in your life, it's better to kind of wait, either do it right now, or wait until after it's done. Now, I'll give you the exact times it starts and the exact time it is done. Like I said, it starts on December 13th at 2:09 a.m. Or if you're on the West Coast, it starts 12:12 at 11:09 p.m. And then it goes all the way to New Year's Day, January 1st, 2024 at 10:08 p.m. Eastern time. So there we go. That is going to be the full Monty, and that is the full retrograde. And part of that time it'll be in Capricorn, and then part of that time it'll be revisiting Sagittarius. I've said this on my broadcast before, but just so that you guys realize, yes, astrology is very mysterious and it has a sort of magic to it, for sure. It's actually a clock. It's a very complicated clock. It's like a clock or a calendar. It's a way of telling time. So when I'm talking about these dates and times and where astrology shines, because it literally denotes periods of time for which things are going to happen. So really what we are reviewing, and I know this is so specific, but when we get into the Mercury and Sagittarius time, and I will let you know, I will fill you in, I will give you the 411 on that. Literally, we are repeating the same week of when we went through November 26th to December 1st. What was happening with you during the last week of November this year? And then you will know what we're repeating. So again, my friend gave me such a huge tip, and I love this tip, and I've been talking about it a lot, is go back through your phone. Go back through text messages, go back through, photographs, emails, and you will know what was going on for you. If you're like, well, I don't know, I don't keep a diary, I don't keep a journal. Hey, if you do, you can look at it and say, oh, that's right, I was going through this. Because we're going to be repeating or rehashing something related to that time frame when we get to Mercury and Sagittarius. We're not there yet. But that's basically what we're reviewing during that time. Okay, we'll just be having to keep it out. But for the meantime, between December 1st and going all the way until December 23rd, we'll be in Mercury and Capricorn. And so we can't skip over. I always say we can't skip ahead. We have to be in Mercury and Capricorn first before we get to that Sagittarius point. So Mercury and Capricorn, what's your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, your motivation? Now, Capricorn is knees, teeth, skin, and the skeletal system. So think skin and bones. That's the area of Capricorn. That's the area that Capricorn rules in the physical body. Now, it really is a lot of achievement goals and things like that. I mean, Capricorn is all about getting, it's an earth sign. So if you think about practical, if you think about organization, that is definitely a Capricorn thing too. So we're going to be reviewing that in our chart. Now, it depends on where it is in your personal chart in order to know how that will affect you. If you are a Capricorn, of course, you're going to be feeling this head on. You're in ground zero. Also, if you are Cancer, or if you have Mercury in Cancer, or if you have any other planets in Cancer being opposed by this Mercury retrograde, because that's what will happen in Cancer. Now, if you're an Aries or a Libra, you're also going to be feeling this too from the outside. You'll be feeling this because all the leadership signs are going to be. Now, Mercury in Capricorn is leadership. Capricorn is the government. There's nothing going on there. What could we possibly need to review? So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on with Mercury and Capricorn, and that is going to be definitely. So you have, Ashley Ann said you have Mars in your 10th house in Capricorn. Nice. I have Mars in my Capricorn as well. Yeah, Wendy, no relapse. That would be a negative thing. Yeah, a lot of people have that in their 10th house. That's interesting. Yeah. Ashley Ann said she got a grant on that past week. Okay, perfect. So that's good. So we are going to be revisiting Capricorn life lessons and what are our goals, what are our dreams. It might be a good time to sit down and look at, well, what were my goals when I started this year? 70% of people give up their New Year's resolution within the first 3 weeks of January. So what were your goals? And maybe we would want to go back and review some of those things and review how to, maybe I didn't get to that this year. But there's next year. I can do it next year. And 2024 could be my year. Now, I will give you a heads up. Haven't talked about this yet. And I like to do my beginning of the year broadcast. But we are wrapping up a 7-year. We've been in a Neptunian 7-year in numerology this whole 2023. Okay, now we're getting into an 8-year. Next year, 2024, is going to be an 8-year. and 8 is Saturn. So we're going to be in a Saturn year next year. Talk about hopes, goals, dreams, aspiration, finances, all that kind of stuff. That is going to be an 8 year. Okay. That is what we are going to be heading into. And so we're going to have a lot, I think, of practice at this whole time. Now, if you are a life path number, if you're an 8, heads up, because it'll be returning to this, your life path, that'll be returning to that. But we're going to be heading into an 8 year. Saturn years are not often easy, but Saturn years are really good for getting stuff done, like in a big way. So if you have a big goal, dream, or aspiration, yeah, we could be starting that, and we could be reviewing that. We're not even in Capricorn season yet. Capricorn season doesn't start until we have the winter solstice, and that's going to be on the 21st. I can't tell you how many people don't realize that the solstices and the equinoxes and all those things are what we're celebrating is the sun moving into that astrological sign. That's literally how we know these seasons are changing, is through, again, it's a calendar. It's a way of telling time. And so a lot of people don't realize that. So a lot of people are commenting that they are 8s. Yeah, so this will be your year. It's going to be a different year. So if you think about Neptune as dreams, aspirations, Neptune is the dream, really. Like it's not always practical stuff. It's just like, one day I'd like to grow up and have a unicorn and a pony, it's like, so Neptune is not always practical. Neptune is a little bit more about creativity. Now, I had predicted, if you go back and watch one of my astrology shorts, I think it's listed on YouTube. I had done a seven year, there would be a big thing happening with the ocean. There would be a big oceanic event. And if you remember, during this year was when the craft that was going down into the ocean, to see the Titanic, and it exploded. That happened this year. Okay, so that did happen during the the oceanic Neptunian year. We've had that was all over the news, if you guys remember, and that was kind of more towards the beginning of the year. So this is a big thing. So Neptune is all about the dream, more creativity, more intuition. That is Neptune, and that was this whole year of 2023 was this Neptunian, and then we're getting into the next year, which is an 8 year. It wasn't the they were going down to see the Titanic, but I can't remember the name of the craft. Somebody can post that if you have Google. I can't do it while I'm on the live, but that was basically happened at the beginning part of this year, and that was a big oceanic event. Neptune. And so now next year is a Saturn year. So that's going to be government and structures and all that. Well, isn't next year an election year in the United States? Yikes. So we're going to be getting into some stuff next year. I'm just telling you. So this is the heads up, the little teaser that I'll do. And we'll be having a live about that. That'll be fun. Jacqueline said, you're scared your goals need to take shape quickly if this is 8 years. Andrea said, how do you know your number? You got to add up all your numbers. We did that before, remember? We added up. I can always tell you. Yes, thank you. Wendy Martin said, Ocean Gates Titan submersible. Thank you. That was the name of the ship that it imploded or exploded. I'm not sure which happened, but that was that whole thing. And we were searching, remember, the ocean, and maybe they're alive, and we heard the banging underwater. That was all during this Neptune year. So it's pretty interesting how these things kind of take place. Now we're getting into an 8 year, and we're going to be in an election year and a government year, because 8 is Saturn, and Saturn is government, and Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn. Oh my. So here we are back to Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. So yes, we're going to be reviewing that, but also the nickname of Capricorn in astrology is the CEO of the zodiac. Okay. So if you think of the CEO, but you're the CEO of your life. Now, when we talk about communicating in Capricorn, because Mercury is communication, Mercury is travel, Mercury was the winged messenger. Remember in mythology, he actually had a Pegasus and a chariot, and he was pretty fun. He would fly around, spreading the word and spreading the news. When we look at all this stuff, all of this culminating and everything coming together in Capricorn. Capricorn is much more bullet points, a little bit more less wordy, more direct, definitely. And so when we're looking at talking about our goals, talking about our dreams, talking about our aspirations, and talking about, God, I need to get organized, or I need to get a plan together. That's very Capricornian, but it's going to be bullet points. Now, remember, this is the time for X's to come back into the picture. This is the time for X's to come back into the picture. So, you know what I always say, an X is an X for the reason. Exactly, Wendy, get to the point. Exactly. An X is an X for the reason. But if you were going to entertain any kind of love things, the most ideal during a retrograde, Mercury retrograde, is an X, because that is where we're going to be revisiting, okay, an X coming into our life. And so that is the RE. The X is returning. But remember what I always say, what has changed, okay? What has changed with the X? If we're going to let them back in, what has changed, okay? That's what we need to know. Not just like, oh, sure, we'll pick up where we left off. And it's like, but you never really answered like where you've been or what you've been doing. No, we want to make sure we get, we fill in, okay? Find out what the details are. But I would say pause dating apps for now. If you have the luxury of pausing job searches, pausing dating apps, pausing, I would just pause it for now. It's not the time to get on there and start, because who are you going to attract on the dating app? An X. And I know people have done that. Okay. You might laugh, but I know people that have done that. So you might want to wait. Holly said, I can't wait for Pluto to go into Aquarius. Well, Pluto, I don't know about getting excited about anything to do with Pluto. I had predicted this on my channel a while ago, back when we were talking about Pluto going into Aquarius, and I can always do another video. I will do another video about that, because Pluto going into Aquarius, remember how these planets, especially Pluto, is ouchy, how Pluto works paradoxically. So it's like going to be a new problem that we have to solve, and it's going to take 20 whatever something years to solve it. Well, I had predicted this on my broadcast, and I said, Pluto in Aquarius is humanitarian. That's a humanitarian crisis about to happen. And what do you think's happening with Gaza? What do you think's happening with all this stuff going on, right? So I almost feel like Pluto in Aquarius, yes, I can't wait. I should say I can't wait till we get some of this figured out with Pluto in Aquarius, but I don't know about the start of it. The start of it might be really bumpy as we first enter Pluto into Aquarius. A lot of people are talking about X's. It's like, hi, here's Pandora's box. I just opened that up. Jacoy, you said, funny, I just started Facebook dating. I would put that on pause if I were you. For sure. Hey, Kristen, we've been talking about you, Sagittarius. Yes, there's a lot of Sagittarius energy. We have that going on. So anyway, so getting back to this, we got Mercury going into Capricorn, and that is just going to start, like I said. So we're going to be reviewing all of these things. And for sure, this could also be, because it's Capricorn, the CEO, we could be reviewing business opportunities, okay? If you were thinking of opening your own business, if you're being an entrepreneur, if you're had a good business deal on the table, and maybe you want to kind of bring that out and sort of, have a reincarnation of that during this time, that would be okay. Just, we don't want to start new things, not something that's brand new. It's a good time to return to things in the past, and for sure, get organized, like start working on some of your taxes, start filing away things. I know clients, and even myself, like I'll oftentimes have a little pile of filing to do or whatever. And I'll do that during Mercury retrograde, because that's the ideal time. We like to, in the United States especially, we like to go, 90 miles an hour in the right-hand lane or left-hand lane at all times. And Mercury retrograde is about pulling over, looking at the scenery, looking at all the, and just taking a minute and reviewing what we're doing. What are we doing here? Oh God, I don't have enough gas. And one of the tires needs a little extra air and things like that. So it is a time that we do this review, reevaluate. Now, these are guidelines. So if you have to, let's say, go to the dentist, go to the car mechanic, do these things, and you absolutely have to, and there's no alternative, you can't switch the appointment, you have to do it, do it. These are guidelines. I personally wouldn't have like a major surgery during this time, but if it's an emergency surgery, I would. Hell yeah, do what we gotta do, but if it's an elective type of thing, you want to make sure that you stay away from that, because we don't want to review that. That's something we don't want to come back and do it again, right? So Kelly said, oh, okay, dentist tomorrow. Well, but tomorrow's the new moon, so I would say that's great. And plus Mercury retrograde hasn't officially started yet. It is stationary. It's not moving at all. I really feel it when Mercury's not moving. It's like, oh my God, Mercury's not really moving. And then it'll start moving again as it appears to us in the sky. It'll start moving backwards, and then we'll get it further into the retrograde, and then eventually it'll go back forward. So we have a little while of Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, and then, like I said, Mercury will switch a few days before Christmas time if you celebrate, and that'll be on December 23rd, and it'll go into Sagittarius at 1:18 a.m. Eastern time on the 23rd. But I will see you next week to talk about that happening, and we'll go over that. We're going to keep talking and talking and talking about the planet that rules over communication and talking. So there's that. Now, the rest of the week actually is pretty quiet. Friday, Hanukkah ends. So happy Hanukkah to all of you who celebrate. If anybody's celebrates Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. I hope your Hanukkah was good. Then we have, on the 16th, Saturday, we have the sun forming a square with Neptune. The sun is in Sagittarius, and it's squaring Neptune in Pisces. Remember, Neptune just went direct last Wednesday. And so that could be illusions, delusions, dreams, So if, oh, I'm sorry, Ashley Ann, you said I said something about December 2024. Yeah, I didn't mean December 2024. I'll have to go back on my broadcast and look. I'm not exactly sure what I said. I was saying about how Mercury goes into Sagittarius December 23rd, 2023. I was talking about that, so I'm not sure. No, Jacqueline, just let me repeat really quickly, because some people I guess I said something. I'm moving quickly, so sometimes I make mistakes. I apologize. Okay, so December 13th, 2023 is the start of Mercury retrograde, going to January 1st of 2024. 3 weeks. It's always 3 weeks, 3 times a year, Mercury retrograde. So I didn't say that. I apologize. It's always 3 weeks, 3 times a year. And so, yeah, so God, no. Could you imagine an entire year of Mercury retrograde? No, thank you. Okay, so getting into Saturday, the 16th, December 16th, 2023, we have the sun forming a square with Neptune. That's only a couple days. Like, we'll start feeling it Thursday, Friday, and then getting into Saturday. Sun forming a square with Neptune, it's perfect for that to happen on a Saturday if you don't have to work, because it's like dreamy, it's confusing, it's like, let's take a nap. It's like, so if you get to Saturday or Friday and you're like, oh my God, I have no energy, I'm just like, oh, I just want to lay on the couch, this is why. Okay, this is why, because the sun is square Neptune on Saturday. The peak of it, the height of it, the pinnacle of it, the absolute max is going to be at 10:43 p.m. Eastern time, 7:43 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. And so that is going to be happening on Saturday. And yeah, okay. Oh, Wendy, you're going to a grief tree lighting? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. Actually, that would be a good thing to do with Neptune, because whenever the sun and Neptune get together, it's better for creative right-brained activities. So if you think yoga, if you think meditating, if you think chanting, if you think, lighting candles, or taking it easy, taking a break, taking a nap, painting a picture, listening to music, that's all this energy. If you have to sit down and do like fine-tuned accounting work, or you have to sit down and sign contracts, that's not a good time. So you know what I say, it's not a great time to buy a new car during that time. Somebody texted me, I haven't gotten a chance to get back to them, but they said, oh, okay, I have to buy, people try to I don't know why, they try to negotiate with me, like, well, I have to buy a car and it has to be during Mercury retrograde. I'm like, okay, then you do you, boo. Like, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not in charge of that. I'm just the reporter. So basically it's something that, if you have to buy a car because you have no car and literally you can't live without a car, then buy a car. Okay. Just say the intention is that the car runs well and does all the things. So, bell ringing. I'm sorry. Wendy said grief, bell ringing. Okay. And tree lighting. Okay. That makes more sense. So I mean, Saturday is good for that kind of stuff. It's a little bit foggy, fuzzy, drifty, dreamy. It's like a little like you're here, but not here, like that kind of thing. That's Saturday. And the peak of it's Saturday. So we'll feel it Thursday, Friday, getting into Saturday. Saturday is the peak, and then even Sunday. So this weekend, if you can, I know we're like in the throes of what we call holiday season, right? It's something that you just want to take it easy and just sort of, maybe we've been running ourselves ragged and we just need to take a nap. That's this time. It's okay. Plus Mercury's retrograde. So we might really feel like, oh, like I got to just, chill out. Okay. So Kelly said, if you have Mercury retrograde in your natal chart, it's actually good for you that you've heard. I'm not sure. Well, Mercury retrograde in your natal chart usually means there's a delay in your language skills, your speaking skills, your ability to orate, your ability to communicate. Sometimes it just means you're painfully shy. Sometimes it means literally a speech impediment or something affecting your language and speech skills. So I don't know that I would say that's good. It's something that you have to get over and something you have to work towards. So I wouldn't say that Mercury retrograde natally is what I would classify as a good thing. It's another life lesson thing, and it's another thing that you'd have to maybe figure out in your life. Now, if you think of somebody famous that has this, is Hillary Clinton. Now, obviously she's gotten over it. She speaks for a living, but she might have been painfully shy or painfully reserved, or maybe even something affecting her speech or her orating skills. A lot of times Mercury retrograde in a natal chart can, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying this is something I've noticed, can indicate learning disabilities, what we call disabilities, but learning challenges like dyslexia or ADD or ADHD or something like that. So I'm not sure I would say that's classified as good. It just is what it is. Like, we like to have that positive and negative vibe, a lot of people, but it just is what it is. It's something that is, and we all have challenges in our chart. We all have things we have to get through and work on in our lifetime. But that having Mercury natally retrograde can kind of indicate that. Now, if you already have Mercury retrograde and we all go into a Mercury retrograde, well, aren't we all just catching up with you? That can be that. So that's something that people who have that in their chart sometimes don't feel Mercury retrograde as much. Okay. And so that could be, I guess, the beneficial aspect of it. But yeah, so it's just something that we have to work with, and something that, we have to kind of like put, time into. Yes, people are talking about electronic equipment. Yeah, so back up your cell phone, your computer, all those things. If you haven't already, that's a good time. I always use the retrograde to do that. Like, I'll be like, oh, Mercury's coming, so I'm going to back up my cell phone or whatever. It's a good time to do those things. So hopefully that, Kelly said that's what I meant. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Kelly. But it's a good question to ask because a lot of people don't know those things, and it's nice when you guys ask questions and I like give a reply publicly. There's no question that's silly, dumb, or whatever. It's all good questions, because everybody then learns, because there's a lot of people who ask me that question. Sometimes I forget to talk about that. There's a lot of people who ask those questions and want to know the answer to that. So, so yeah, if you have natal Mercury retrograde, that might be something. Now, or you grow out of it, you know, it's like that can be one of those things, but it's like a starting off with a little obstacle or delay with the learning and the speech and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, uh-oh, somebody said their cell phone charger died. Yeah, so all this is electronic equipment. Once again, I had problems with my printer. I don't know what it is with me and printers, but it's a thing. Yeah, so that is this week in astrology. So you can hear we have the new moon, then we have Mercury retrograde, we have the meteor shower, which is a fun honorable mention, and then we have the sun forming a square with Neptune, but we don't have, I mean, we have some minor other things going on, but we don't have like a ton of astrological energy this week as far as like busyness every single day. Of course, there's always something going on every day, but we have these big, huge like things happening in the beginning of the week. So, and of course, it's going to continue on. You know, Mercury retrograde is going to continue on all the way through the first of the year. So, if anybody has any questions for me, I am going to be pulling a few cards, and then I'm going to pull the one collective card for everybody. What do we need to know for the week? I brought my Moonology cards with me, so to celebrate the new moon, and I wore my Opulenza moon little charm here. I was all about the moon. Oh, Wendy. Oh, you're worried about your mama? Sure, I'll pull a card. You just wanted a general. Wendy Martin's mama. That's a good card, Wendy. I know you're worried about her. I'm getting good cards on her. This is Have Faith, Wendy Martin. Okay. You were asking about your mom. This is Have Faith. This is like the card that, and again, it's not a religious card, but it's like kind of like let go and let God, or let go and let your angels take over, or let go and let your spirit guides, whatever. So this is about, and then this is saying love. So, I mean, she looks like she's, I can feel that she's sort of struggling, if you will. Like it just feels like there's stuff going on with her, but I don't know if she's a person of faith, or if it's just that you know, there's something. I almost feel like she's praying, or she's being protected, or something. There's something going on there. Interesting. Hold your vision is the card. Hold your vision. This is the fixed moon, it says. So that's about like staying the course. So, I mean, I think she's holding her own, you know, I think she's holding her own. Oh no, Juliet. Is your new neighbor dangerous? Yikes. I can't be responsible for things, but let me look, Juliet. Now, is this in your house, or a house that, because I'm getting multiple locations and I just want to zoom in on the right one. I don't want to say like online, like where the location is, but is this, just say, is it your home? Oh, Kristen's sending her Reiki. Good. Kristen is a wonderful Reiki a healer that does a lot of really wonderful. Oh, okay, because it doesn't feel like it's your home. That's right. So it's a new to you property. Yeah, it's a little sketchy. There's some dark energy around it. I almost feel like there was maybe, I don't want to say like if it was like a house that attracted some stuff. Okay, we'll just say that. Dangerous, I'm not sure about dangerous, but I think this house attracted some stuff. You are getting the card of Mars, so I would be careful. I wouldn't get into any confrontations or anything like that. Not that you're not a confrontational person in that way anyway. I would definitely do some clearing, okay? Some space clearing. I would do some smudging, and I would go around the perimeter of the property and with some sage and really like, okay? And I would create some like energetic barriers, okay? Like around the house. Just imagine there being like a beautiful bubble of white light around it or something, because I just feel like your vibe is way different than the other people's vibe. I don't want to say it's outwardly, like I'm not getting like an outward aggression towards you or whatever. It's more of like, if there were to be something provoked, then I could see it turning into a weird thing. But I don't feel like a coming at you and just like for no reason, you know, attacking you or something. There's just some darker energy around it. I don't know if there was like a drug vibe around it. I don't know if there was some other crime going on in the house or whatever, but I would cleanse that house over and over. Now, for everybody who's watching, this is why I always say, it's great to watch these programs, the question portion, because sometimes it gives you information. New moons are a perfect time to cleanse and clear. Okay. New moons are a perfect time to cleanse and clear. So, because it's like we're starting fresh from the, like, you know, the new moon is like at 0, you know, and then we're like going forward. So this is when we start doing that. Oh, good. Somebody's saying they're cleansing. So funny, Gwen, because Gwen is asking about, there's a shift in your life you need to step back into, which involves a new apartment. Should you focus on New York or Vermont? Well, Gwen, I happen to remember, I always remember people's signs. You're a Capricorn, and we're just talking about Mercury going into Capricorn, revisiting something, okay? I think you need to address the situation that's in Vermont. That's my feeling. But your energy is more potent in New York. So I can't say all yes and all no. I feel like your energy is potent, more potent in New York. So if you're thinking about making a long-term plan, I think you should focus on New York as a long-term plan. But in a short-term plan, then I would say Vermont, because it does feel like there's something brewing that you need to take care of. It's familial or something like that. And so that might be, I hope that helps. I can't do like real specific online, but hopefully that gives you something to work with. I would think New York long-term, your energy is more potent, more powerful, more effectual. Like, I don't know why, but it just feels more uplifted, in New York. New York feels better. It's not easy there, but it feels like it's better there, if that makes sense. Yay. Kirsten, is it time for you to leave career to help care for family? Oh, congratulations. Let me look. What does she need to know about her career? Is this the time? Kirsten, would this involve you needing to move or relocate or travel more? Because you're getting that card, the moving card, okay, just so that you know, when you ask about this. It's interesting because you're really confused. Neptune, remember I was just talking about this being a 7-year, by the way, what card is number 7? Neptune. Okay, so Neptune is confusion. You're really not sure, because I really feel like you're kind of at the peak of your career, like, or the max of it or something. It feels like you would be leaving, if you were to leave, it would be like you're leaving on a high note, because it doesn't feel like you have to leave, and it just feels like this is like just a switch in priorities. So yeah. Ashley wanted to know about cleansing crystals. Yes, absolutely. Oh, you just moved. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times that card will come out. You might have to and I should say moving is also the card of travel. So if you look at, she's, I just filed her away, but she was flying over the planet. So moving is not only moving physically, like literally moving, or it's flying over the planet and traveling. So if you're going to be doing that, with the little, to get to your little kiddos. I know, Kirsten, I don't feel a hard stop with you. I just don't. I feel like you get to do a little of this and a little of that. I just don't feel a hard stop with you. You do have a new cycle beginning. You're getting the new moon card, new moon in Libra, and it says a new romantic cycle begins. It doesn't have to be romantic, but look at this. I just said a little of this and a little of that, and this is a little bit of the scales, a little here and a little there. I think you're balancing these two things, career and taking care of little ones. I just don't feel a hard stop with you, like you're walking away from the career. It just feels like maybe you start to do a little of this and a little of that. I hope that helps. All right, everybody. I got to get going because I don't want to keep you guys too long. But remember, I have gift certificates available if you're looking for an astrological session. I am going to pull a card for everybody. They make great gifts, wonderful gifts of insight to your loved ones. You can order an astrological chart, which is a report, a 30 to 40 page report. Or you can actually give the gift of a full session, which would be lovely. And I'm going to pull one card. What do we all need to know, okay, for this week coming up, this new moon? We have a new moon. We have Mercury Retrograde. We have Neptune at the end of the week. So let's see, what do we need to know about all this lovely energy? Okay. Oh, interesting. Disseminating moon. Take time to breathe out. These are all moon cards. These are my moonology cards. So I am going to be also pulling this other card. Let me do one more. What do we need to know with disseminating moon? Take time to breathe out. And then I want to pull one more from my other deck here, which I haven't pulled from in a while. Oh, Julia, thank you so much. She did 100 stars. Thank you. Ashley Ann is manifesting. Hey, that's a good thing. You could manifest a gifted reading from me through your family. That would be good. All right, one more. What do we need to know about this week? Okay. All right, so we have 3 cards here. We have Disseminating Moon. We have Royal Star of the Lion, which means something that's very solid, firm foundations. And we have this card, Correct or Mistakes. I definitely feel like this is pertaining to the new moon. This is pertaining to Mercury Retrograde. Okay, so remember what I was saying, and I want to hold it up for YouTube as well so you guys can see. Correct your mistakes. We're going to go back and review something. Now, it doesn't have to be a mistake, but we're going to be reviewing, revising, revisiting different things. And so it doesn't have to be necessarily a mistake that we're revisiting, but we're going back, in other words, and that's definitely Mercury Retrograde. As well as, even though this is not a full moon, this is a new moon, I just want to remind everybody that during the lunar cycles, you can feel a little bit tired. Sometimes new moons and full moons bring that on within us. And so you don't have to run around and do a lot, especially since Mercury is changing direction. We might feel a little bit like we need a little rest or a little extra TLC. I get a lot of people that say, oh, I'm just so tired, or oh, I have seasonal affective, or oh, this and that. But you know what? Sometimes this, if you think about in the wild right now, everything's starting to hibernate and especially in North America, we're starting to hibernate. We're starting to go, it's normal because we are at the maximum. We're approaching the winter solstice, which means we're at the maximum of darkness in the sky. So this is the time to rest a little bit more. And yes, sometimes we want to eat a little bit more to plump up for the winter, and that's natural in our cycles. And we think something's wrong with us, but nothing's wrong with you. It's just, it's natural to do that. And so this is a firm foundation, a solid structure. If you look at it, it looks like a castle. We got to make sure that we stay just kind of like the foundational energy. What's the foundational energy? This is definitely like a sort of Capricorn foundation type of thing. We want to make sure that we stay in our house and stay in good grounded and be firm in our foundation and all that good stuff. I feel like as if it's something that we have to remember that, because these energies can get a little wonky, especially with retrogrades and whatever things happening, can kind of pull us in different directions, and especially the holidays and the stress that's associated with those. So it's good to stay grounded in our a castle is not going anywhere. It's like been through hurricanes, it's been through termites, it's been through all kinds of things, and that thing is still standing. It's firm and solid in the structure, and that's what I like about that card. Royal Star of the Lion is a beautiful card, and it is interesting. 2 + 3 is 5. That's numerology of Mercury. Mercury is a number 5, so associated with that number and that planet is Mercury. So again, we're looking at the structure of things. That's very Capricorn, Mercury and Capricorn. Okay, everybody. So you have all the tools now in your toolbox to go forth and just kind of, be able to go through these energies and adjust. Remember, we got that powerful Jupiter new moon for manifesting, and then we get into wonky Mercury retrograde. So we have some time, okay, to manifest for ourselves. So thank you so much. If you want to have a personalized astrological session, again, to remind you, I will be doing sessions normally, scheduling sessions normally through this time. But I'm going to be skipping the last 2 weeks, Monday nights on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, because they fall on Monday. And I'm going to be putting a pre-recorded version up on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss that. And don't rely on the algorithm, because the algorithm, is sometimes unreliable. You want to subscribe to the channel. All right, everybody. Lots of love, lots of light. Okay, lots of positiveness to you. Happy new moon. And I'll see you again next Monday night. Bye.